All right, gentlemen, we are going to talk about some things. So, if you know, a while back, it's probably been about a year now. Haven't really done anything with this truck this year. Poked around with these wires a little bit because last year I had a issue where I was blowing the ignition fuse at the top of the track, and I had a couple different outings where that happened. And after the last one, I did some investigating and never really got to the root cause or to the bottom of it. So I decided today what I was going to do was isolate the ECU from the ignition circuit so that if it does blow that fuse, it would just kill like my dash lights, and that's pretty much it. So I traced a lot of the wiring back under the dash to the ignition module, back out to the fuse box, and trying to understand what all powers that circuit. So I made a little jumper, this little jumper guy, and I put this in the fuse here, the one that I was blowing, and then I put a clamp meter on it, and the only thing that I could get to spike the current was the relays and the wiring circuits that were tied to my windshield wipers. So there was only a couple different conditions where I could even get the voltage or the amperage to come up, and it was only like 2 amps, or it would go from 2 amps to like 5 amps. It wasn't a big change at all, so didn't really figure that was a smoking gun. When that happened, it completely melted the wire, because I did put a jumper in it when I ran out of fuses. It completely melted the jumper wire that I had in there. Looked through a lot of the wiring, didn't find any other problems, didn't find any other melted, damaged, burnt wires anywhere. So, didn't really know what else to do, so decided today that I was going to isolate the ignition circuit. And I did that by just running a new ignition wire to a switch on the dash now. That's going to power the ECU. So my thought was, if it does blow that ignition fuse for some reason, again, that it would at least keep the ECU on, and then I wouldn't end up in a situation where I'm at the top of the track with the engine shutting off, because I don't want that to be happening. So I don't care if like the dash lights and all that stuff don't work, not a big deal, but I don't want the engine to be shutting off at the top of the track. So I did that, hooked that switch up, and then I went to test it, and what I found was that I had a situation where even with this wire disconnected for the new ignition circuit, when I turned the key forward, the ECU would still turn on and the fuel pumps would still prime. It would look something like this. Here, the fuel pumps prime. You see the digital dash kind of flickering, but it never completely turns on. So that's weird. I added this switch to the radio bezel. That one completely turns everything on. Alright, so that's like normal 12 volt ignition condition. So my first thought was that I might have had a ground issue somewhere that was causing that, because I've seen that before where there's a bad ground somewhere and it'll try to find ground through another circuit and activate another circuit. I had that issue on the yellow Mustang that I had where I forget exactly what the condition was, but what it would do is it would run the transmission fan at a really slow speed, like during some condition. I forget what it was. Like when I was trying to crank to start it, maybe it would run the transmission fan slow. And then I also had a situation with my Escalade that I had when I forgot one of the head grounds on the cylinder head. And that created a condition where when I turned the key forward to crank it, the starter would continue to crank. Nothing else powered up, but the starter would just sit and crank and crank and crank. And even when I pulled the key out of it, it was still cranking. So I've seen weird stuff with ground issues. So I inspected grounds, didn't really find anything there, and started going through these relays for all the different circuits. So I have the 12 volt ignition on right now. First thing I noticed was that my line lock doesn't work. So I thought that was interesting. Went and checked the line lock. I have a wire that's actually broken off of the line lock, the ground side of the line lock. So that was one thing I found. Next thing I found was, I'll switch this off. Next thing I found, so here's that condition, right? Key forward, everything turns on. I found that when I unplug my line lock relay, it doesn't do it. Now you don't hear the pumps priming. But as soon as I put the line lock relay in, it's backfeeding power and turning the ECU partially kind of on. So this is the little CAN bus module here. So next I went to unplugging the CAN bus module because that gets a trigger, the line lock gets the ground trigger from that. Turn the key forward, no fuel pump prime. Plug this in. Now I have fuel pump priming again. So then I went from the module, I unplugged the output side of the module, same thing. I disconnected the ground trigger for the line lock relay. Keys on, no pump prime. Connect this. Now I have the pump priming. So excuse all the dirty laundry in here, but I went to, now I just started checking all the wiring on the line lock relay. So I disconnected the constant 12 volt that I have in here. That one, when I turn the key forward, it doesn't change anything. Alright, so then the next thing I did was I disconnected the switched 12 volt wire that I have going to the relay for the line lock. So disconnect that, key forward, doesn't turn on, and when I connect this here now, and that switch 12 volt circuit is on, I just spliced this into the radio circuit wire for the switch 12 volt. So essentially what's happening is the switch 12 volt that I spliced into is sending power through the relay, through the coil, through the other side of the coil, which would be the ground that's connected to the CAN bus module. And it's sending power back through the CAN bus module to the ECU and somehow triggering it to partially turn on and flicker the ECU just enough to prime the fuel pumps, which is goofy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that switch 12 volt, put it on a different source. I'm going to put that on the source now that is connected to the switch on the dash, because I don't need that one like that anyways. And I have one side of that connected to 12 volt constant, which I don't really need that either. I could have both of those go to that switch, so I might wire it that way. But I also found this. This wire here is just broken off. This is the ground side of my line lock. I have my line lock right there, and this was grounded, and that's broken off. So I don't know exactly how to explain all that. I don't know if that was root cause and what was causing my ignition circuit to blow, but there's a lot of coincidences happening that there's some backfeeding happening. So maybe that 12 volt ignition circuit wasn't happy. That was broken off, so my line lock wasn't working. And maybe that happened on the last pass or something. Maybe something to do with the line lock backfeeding power. Like maybe it failed on the last run, and then backfed power somehow blew the circuit. I don't know how that would explain multiple times that it did it. Or this is a completely separate problem and we don't have root cause yet. So I feel like I'm in a better spot now because I have all the ECU stuff separated, or I will, and it's on its own fuse. So the ignition fuse and the 12 volt that's going just to the ECU is all on a separate fuse. The main power sources still have the Holly fuses that are in there. So I'll be able to tell a little bit better if there is a problem that's still going on. Or maybe this does fix it and I don't blow that fuse anymore. But I'm going to button all this stuff up, wire that, and I'm going to go to the track tomorrow with it and see how it goes. Tomorrow's probably the last day of the year. It's going to be a Saturday. It's supposed to be like 60 degrees. We're already in the middle of November. I don't think we're going to get very many more good days. And then I'll clean this stuff up and drain the fuel. I'm going to put new fuel in it. I'm going to refill my diff because it has a diff leak and it's been sitting for a while and it leaked a lot of fluid. So I just want to top that off. Clean some of the dust off because I'll probably lose a half a second just because there's so much dust weight on it. I'd like to put the hood back on, and then that'll really be the last time out for the year. And then plan to do some rewiring. That was kind of the plan over last winter. Didn't really get to it, but I do want to clean up all this wiring. This was just kind of temporary wiring to get it out, but you know how that goes. So yeah, hopefully some of that makes sense. If you guys have any other ideas for, you know, why that would make sense, if for that to blow the ignition fuse, or if that doesn't make any sense at all, let me know. Or I could just have another problem, and maybe there's actually an issue with like the ignition barrel, or I don't know. Could be anything, but I guess we'll at least be able to see tomorrow if this ignition fuse blows. It's a 50 amp fuse. That's a big fuse, and the thing that really gets me is the last time that it happened, it melted the wire that was in there because I put a jumper in it, melted it, and when I put a new fuse in it, it would blow the fuse instantly. 50 amp fuse. As soon as I would crank the key, it would blow the fuse right away. So I feel like there was a dead short somewhere at some point, but then when I put it on the trailer and got it home, it didn't have the dead short anymore. I put the fuse in it, and then it ran and started up, ran fine. So I feel like there was a dead short at the track, put it on the trailer, bumped around on the 2-hour drive home, and then maybe loosened it up. One other thing that I did find was the alternator was loose. So I took a bunch of stuff apart just to kind of check everything, and the alternator, I could physically move it around by hand. So I don't know if something maybe got freaked out there with the alternator losing its ground path because it shifted in the mounting. Just temporarily glitched, like when I hit the brakes and it shifted forward, or unloaded the engine, it shifted the alternator. I'm just like really kind of trying to think of anything weird. But yeah, that's where we're at. All right, so double check this. Dash lights turn on, but ECU doesn't come on, doesn't prime. I still have the starter on the key. And then ignition switch here. ECU comes on. Let's see what happens when I turn the key with this on, with it running. Alright, so now my key is just for the starter, so that's cool. I mean, I would ideally like to have everything work on the key, final state, but for now that works. Alright, there we go. Got the hood back on. Haven't had that on for a long time. Emptied out all the fuel out of the fuel cell. I'll get fresh fuel for it tomorrow. And should be ready to go.